What is up, you guys? Nick here. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about my absolute favorite penny stock going right now. This is a stock I've talked about briefly in other videos. However, with its intense run-up lately and projected continued run-up in the coming months, quarters, and possibly years, I do think it deserves its own full video. This penny stock is in the electric vehicle related industry, and if you have watched my channel before, you will note just how bullish I am on EV and continue to be. Shout out to everyone who has pledged on my Patreon page. I really do appreciate it and thank you so much for the support. Shout out everyone who bought this stock with me. We're up more than 100% in just a few weeks. What a time. We have a lot to get into in today's video, but before we do, Webull has improved their promo. They are now offering 4 free stocks worth up to $3,700. All you have to do is 1, sign up, 2, open an account, and 3, deposit in at least $100 using the link in my description. This is a complete no-brainer. Webull is a 0% commissions trading platform and offers some of the best analytics in the game. This offer ends soon, guys. Do not sleep on it. Check out my Patreon page. I would really appreciate it. I'm posting every single one of my trades moving throughout 2021, behind the scene content, unbelievable insights into penny stocks, and more importantly, I would really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's cut to the chase. The company I am talking about today is actually a royalty company called Nova Royalty Corporation, trading on the CVE under ticker symbol NOVR. So who is this company, what do they do, and where could share prices land in the coming weeks and months? Well, Nova Royalty Corp is obviously a royalty company. In case you are unaware, a royalty company is basically a company which serves as a specialized financier that helps fund exploration and production projects for mining companies specifically. The royalty company then receives a royalty on what the projects produce or rights to a stream. This is essentially a pre-agreed amount of precious metals. This is a space I like to be personally invested in rather than putting all of my eggs into one basket and investing in just one junior mining company. I find it really reduces risk, increases exposure, and is a very nice way to immediately diversify. Nova is up over 300% in just the past 2 months, and the majority of the surge has been logged within just the past few weeks. In just over a month, we're trading at over 200% gains. With the intense surging of electric vehicle stocks and companies and the intense investor interest across the board, EV-related stocks are receiving a massive spotlight and heavy trading volumes as well. So I know you may be asking, well, Nick, how are mining companies at all related to clean energy and electric vehicles? Well, let's break this down. What are one thing all electric vehicles share? Well, all electric vehicles are fueled by some sort of battery cell technology. Now, all of these batteries require precious metals in their cathodes and anodes, component parts of the batteries themselves. This puts huge demand on the battery industry as a whole, and resultingly the precious metal mining companies producing these metals. 2 of the most in-demand metals currently for the construction of batteries are nickel and copper, and Nova Royalty Corp focuses specifically on these metals. These are the fundamentals and the building blocks moving from a fossil fuel dominated world into the new age of clean energy. Nova's business model is providing investors who want exposure to the surging prices of copper and nickel and optionality while limiting the exposure to risks of individual companies. I really like personally how diversified their portfolio is, with assets in major mining companies including Teck, Antofagasta, First Quantum, and Rio Tinto. They have 17 royalties currently and are planning on expanding this portfolio. Alright. Whenever looking at a company, it's important to ask the question of where they could potentially land in terms of demand. What are the materials used for, and will the future landscape require these materials at an increased demand? Firstly, looking at copper. The price of copper itself has been surging in just the past few months, and prices have reached an 8-year high. Together, with the weakness in the dollar, investors are keenly looking for alternative areas for their capital to grow instead of the low interest dollar. Some investors and analysts are stating that this growth is very likely to continue running up throughout 2021 as sovereign debts and prolonged low interest rates, precious metals are poised to increase in valuation. We can see just how intense this run-up has been within the copper industry, and what's more is that this is compounded by the fact that EVs are neck deep in a bull run themselves. This means that copper valuation is increasing and their demand is simultaneously increasing, which is why we are seeing royalty companies like Nova having extremely lucrative YTDs. The copper demand from EVs, wind, and solar energy are projected to require a minimum of 3 to 4 million metric tons of annual production in the next 9 years to 2030. With a democratic government, more clean energy incentives, more carbon taxes, and carbon caps, clean energy is the way of the future. We are seeing this transformation take place before our eyes, and EVs, wind farming, and solar energy are disrupting the status quo. The quantity of electric vehicles worldwide represent less than 1% of all vehicles on the road. This means that less than 1 out of 100 cars are likely to be an EV. However, in the next 9 years, this is expected to 12x to 12% of all vehicles. This will require an additional 15 million tons of copper. What's more is that EVs are expected to surpass conventional gas and diesel vehicles by the mid-2030s as the predominant vehicle sold on the market. When investing, I take a broad, zoomed-out approach and project where the world itself is moving to then position myself prior to the shift. I really do think mining companies focused specifically on copper and nickel will be the beneficiaries to huge gains in the coming landscape. Wind capacity is expected to triple over the next 10 years, and solar tech is expected to 6x over the same time. This is placing a huge demand on copper. Now moving to Nova's other dark horse, nickel. If you've watched my channel before and my battery related content, you may remember that nickel is the most important component of a battery by mass in lithium ion cathodes. They make up around 80% of the mass, and annual nickel demand from EVs is expected to 20x in the next 9 years. Remember, as EV demand grows, copper and nickel demand will parallel this sentiment. EVs make up more than 60% of the entire current global nickel market. Looking at nickel's prices, we can see a very similar upwards trajectory in value. They are reaching 4-month highs from the very recent lows logged in March. We are once again reaching around 18,000 per ton, and many analysts are indeed expecting this to continue growing in the coming months and years. This is one of my favorite companies right now. I have been buying up shares on dip days and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. This stock could surge in the coming weeks, months, and years, and some analysts are expecting this to 10x. Remember that when investing in penny stocks, please be aware of the risks. There is much more reward associated, but this also comes with higher risks, and it's your duty to know these risks. However, that being said, this is why I do like being positioned within royalty companies to help minimize this risk. However, it would be silly to put on the horse blinders and forget that there is any risk associated with penny stocks. There is always heightened risk. Remember, stay diversified and stay long term. What up, long-term gang? Don't forget about the Webull promo. 4 free stocks worth up to $3,700 for free. All you have to do is 1, sign up, 2, open an account, and 3, deposit in at least $100 using the link in my description. Check out my Patreon page if you haven't already. Thank you so much to all those who have already pledged. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. It's a great way for us to continue thriving, continue making that bread, baby. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and decimate that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, everyone, I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Happy trading. Cheers.